keyboard, stop transcript. And you can just, the two in the zip, download it, drag and, I think you need to extract it first, and then you can drag and drop those two families into the model, and they would have a parameter or value on fire reaction fire door, which I don't think you guys use. And you can just remove the value that was this XXDD, something like this. And it should look like something like this. So I can undo what I did like this. It went from this and just extract. So you have those door and window requirement, drag and drop. Do this with all loading families. You can select the top one. And you're going to get a bunch of different text here on the bottom. This one, XSS1, blah, blah, blah. These two are the reaction to fire, which is a Norwegian parameter, but you can just ignore it by removing the value. Reaction to fire for door and reaction to fire for window. So you can kind of just remove it, and that will look then as it should be. Now when you place something, it's going to look much better. Or not. I get that. Ugh. Okay, we can fix it for later. Let it be. We can fix it. Did everyone manage to update the structure model and the two families?
I personally need some more time, but we can go ahead.
Yeah. Janos and Mercedes and Laura and Norbert, did you download it? And Janos, brilliant.
Yes, it's okay.
Brilliant. Great, everyone. So what I did is basically lowered it because every level are off by 830 millimeters, and just moved it down. So when you drag and drop and replace it and open, it's going to load and it's going to be looking good. So what I'm going to do I'm going to go into view template because I turned it off. So it's going to go to Revit links and turn existing or structure model on again so we can see it. And then, okay. So we now get both the structural model visible and the architectural model. So we get kind of a little bit of both. Did everyone get so I have it visible, the structural and Janos, brilliant. Quiet I can accept quiet as good. As if it's everyone's quiet, everyone's on game. Otherwise, just holla. Brilliant, Oliver. Okay, so we're done basically openings and windows. I should have changed the Norwegian round because they maybe because this might go over your head, Oliver, but it's more a fire thing, and that is so when you place now, I forgot to remove it. We can remove it later. So when you place something, you get the text here under, which is the material requirement on the door, because how they do it in Norway and Denmark are that they actually have the material requirement on the walls and openings. So if they're going to have the A2S1D0 requirement on the door, they're not putting it on the room itself, which I assume you guys do as well as we do in Germany, Sweden, Finland, UK. That your room decides what kind of material requirement there would be. For fire engineers?
Like yes, they have requirements.
Yeah, so you say like all the doors within this room, this is the material requirement of the walls and fire escapes, etc. They do like literally on the specific door. They are unique that way. So you can ignore the bottom one. I will, when I create when I created Hungarian, I will remove it It just default now is the value. But that's fine. And the only thing we need to do is kind of here is kind of keep an eye of, keep on placing requirements. So in this case would be W2. You can place it and you can kind of get the good looking compartmentation, lines, etc. And we've been using kind of these so far. The next 6 slots that I'm going to mention, which we have here, it's going to say empty slots for you guys. You see number 10, 7, 1, and emergency something. The numbering that you can see, those are from the Danish compartmentation, or sorry, the Danish template. But here we can add requirements that we want to add even more onto our model. So for instance, in those cases, in those regions where we don't use a text but a symbol to place requirements, we can use these to kind of place opening requirements. But we can as well use these to actually start placing door requirements, such as one-handed openings, such in 179 handles, or two-handed openings requirement, door magnets, whatnot. So here we can add other symbols that we want to connect to openings. But it works the same way. We go to settings, we can go here, and we got a tick box in the very top. It says only openings. That means, yeah, only openings if that's ticked. If it's not, you can connect basically to anything in the model. So if you want to just place column requirements, for instance, we have a requirement for that. You can kind of just isolate columns, then start placing these requirements really fast. And you can get kind of material, what kind of paint they need on those columns. Yeah, here's kind of sky's the limit if you untick it. But if you take a look here and go to, let's go down to fire, and we go to M for magnet. Or not. Let's go with re-enter. We can go with that one. It's door magnet, but we can go to fire, re-enter one way with out key, and select that one. So here, once again, this is nothing that you usually put in on your drawings or your PDF. Most regions don't, but you have those requirements in your strategy documentation. So this is kind of how we can go from the traditional drawings that we usually do to where we add even more things we want to connect to. So for instance, we can add one way without key, and we can save it. And that will obviously appear here. And now we can start placing, for instance, different requirement of re-enter, accessibility, and whatnot. And you can get a symbol from this. And it's placed and it's connected to that specific opening. Once again, it's in Swedish, so it means mambo jumbo for you guys. Ignore that. But the idea here is we can have then other symbols connecting to underlaying doors. So you can start adding more and more symbols to send requirements of parametric. This is usually the case when we want to add more things on openings, I would say. I'm just going to touch down on it really quickly. Everyone's so far so good? Very, very quick about this one.
I just have a question, sorry.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm shooting way ahead of schedule, but I guess my mind started spinning, wondering, is there a way we can list these doors with these specific requirements that we just tagged?
We can definitely. So we get all the information that we need from which doors they are. So we can get kind of the list. We can.
So say if I list the doors, if I create a door schedule, can I cross-reference them with the tags that I just created? Like, there's just like either a filtered or unfiltered schedule of doors, and I just want to make sure that I can somehow differentiate between the doors.
Yeah. As a file engineer, I would say no. It's to be honest, we have not enough information. We can differentiate and do them because we can do a multi category schedule, and we have the specific ID, for instance. So we can get like this is the Revit ID, and this is kind of the hidden global unique ID. So we can kind of get those like these stores, but we will sort them by this number. So it's very hard to kind of get this one. We have what you can see down here. We grab the type name, type mark, and level. So we kind of get that at least. We grab that from the door. We thought that we might use mark as well, like the mark value, but we kind of just didn't add it because every architect made their own thing, and
yeah, that's true.
So like okay, we didn't know, but you can kind of with this like this is the code, the ID, this is all the requirement for that door. We know this, and you can kind of even send it. But what we're going to see in a moment, we're going to deliver the information to the architect model, and then we're going to double check tomorrow morning. Like this is how we can literally now how they can import the data, and we can use it. And once they're imported, we can start checking even in our model, like how is it working.
Sounds good. Thank you.
What else? Okay, yeah. Okay, so these ones, once again, mainly used for this when they have other symbols for openings. That is kind of what people mostly use it for, or when it comes so far adding more door requirements. That is, I would say, the general purpose, how people use it. But you can use it for everything, connect to anything. In between, let's say, these one where we have a symbol for opening requirements and these one where it's kind of lines and text. And I just remembered Janosch requests. We're going to fix that as well. We have something here in between, which is called auto connect, connect family, disconnect family, and connect spaces. Connect space, that one connects space to an underlying room, so we can send information between our space and room. We can click on it. It's very boring. It just connects the entire model spaces to if there is a room, and we can send information between our space and the room. Okay, very boring, straightforward.
And what's the practical use of it?
So basically, in the last delivery, if you have a facility management system that uses, well, basically reads information from the room itself, from the architect model, they usually read from the architect model. We can populate those rooms saying there are requirements here of, sorry, this is the alarm zone of that. Those rooms are part of that alarm zone B, so they can import it into their system. To be honest, I think one customer have done it, but you can do it. So we can send information between space and room, and kind of what we're going to do with our components, our symbols, tomorrow or maybe today. Then the other two, connect family and disconnect family. So connect family. So here we kind of place symbols for some walls, doors, and windows. and one symbol for another symbol on a door. But if we have other components we want to connect to, or some cases, they're going to be that the architect, the structural engineer, has used a category which we are unfamiliar with, or is an unusual category, let's say it. So for a very common one would be elevators, which would be here. That doesn't look like we can see it, but it's probably something there. They usually can be sometimes generic models, mechanical equipment, specialty equipment. It can be kind of a lot of categories that can have defined, sometimes doors, sometimes something else. I've seen so many variation of just elevators. I've actually even seen balcony walls been made as railings, whatnot. Sometimes they go outside of what we think they're going to use. When that happens, we have the connect family. This is let's call it like when we have no idea what they've been using, we can always connect something to it. So for instance, but we can connect it to normal things as well. But if we go here to architecture and component, place a component. Here we can place any kind of symbol and we can connect it to anything in the model. So we go to place a component and we can go here and search for direction, direct. And we have 2 families, 3 types, but we can select the one that is called evacuation route. And we can place it here by the door. Press escape twice. Doesn't have to be by the door. Place it somewhere. I'm just here. I'm just close here. That's why. This one, the arrow, the green arrow that we use a lot of times to showcase this is the direction we want to evacuate to. If I select this one, it has a lot of parameters. But if you take a look here at the parameter NVGUID, it doesn't have any value, meaning because we place it with Revit, which is fine, but it's not connected to anything. We can always go, once it's selected, go to Connect Family. Are you sure you want to connect this? Do you want to connect these objects? Yes. And then just select the door. And it's now connected to that door. And we can connect this to railings, staircases. We're going to expand the number of categories in next release, but we can add even more things, what we can connect it to. So we can connect kind of whatever to whatever. And now we can see here, and the NVGUID, Global Unique ID, is now connected. Everyone has values. Go back to component, architecture component, and just place it somewhere in the middle of a corridor. It's not connected to anything. We can see it. If we go into our project browser, I told you that we had the unconnected. If I go to level 4 here, sorry, level 3, parenthesis 2 in my case, and open it, you can see that I only see that component. Everything else is connected. If we grab, and it looks like I hide something or something are in the way that hides the components, but we can leave it as it is. Maybe it's the show all or generic model, something is blocking something. But here I can see the elevator, though. I can see that, which were generic model. As I said, these can be any kind of category. If you take this object, this arrow, go to Naviate Bimfire, connect family, and are you sure I want to connect this one? And connect it to the elevator. Disappears from this view. So if you place components via Revit. They're going to appear here in unconnected. Once they are connected with Connect Family, they disappear here from the unconnected. And if I go back to level 4 views for sheets, level 4, level 3 views for sheet, they're obviously still here. So it's we can simply go in here and unconnected and make sure that everything is connected to something at least. Disconnect is, yeah, it just if you want to disconnect something. Other way, but reverse. So it's going to be not connected to anything. Auto connect requirements. We can grab, let's grab, I'm going to do like this. I'm going to do a copy of this one and move it over here. Same thing as in Windows. If you hold down Control key and have something selected and move it, it will make a copy of it. So you can kind of quickly create something new if you see something. I do this often the case when you have certain symbols I'm gonna be placing several times. So, okay. If you select these two and we go back to Bimfire and run auto connect, you're gonna prompt me saying, do you want to try to connect or auto connect selected or current view, the entire view? The only difference here is based on speed. And we connect two things because those are the only two things that people want us to connect, or two objects, so to speak. It's going to be walls. We're going to try to connect things to walls, wall compartmentations, and openings. So we're going to check for windows and doors and try to auto-connect everything that is close to them, and we're going to try to auto-connect those. If we run this one, connect selected, you see that I got one, going to prompt me, one that is connected and one that is failed to connect to something. You can see here. This is the one that failed. This is the one that managed. I can see this in the global unique ID. This one has a dash because it's failed to kind of connect to something. What we do is we basically grabs every wall. In this case, we grab every symbol that are selected, because I went with selected, and goes to its origin, which is kind of the base point of the symbol, and we do like a sphere, 200 millimeter in radius, and checks, is there a door or window or walls there? And if it is, we connect. And 200 millimeter is just, we don't want to, now it's maybe these are not close enough, but sometimes doors can be too close enough. We rather fail than automatically connect to the wrong door. That's why we have the relatively short radius when we connect, because we don't want it to accidentally connect to, it says that, oh, it's managed to connect, but which one? So we're kind of more restricted that way. But we run it and try to connect. So we can, that means as well, I can actually, if the same layout on this side, on the next level, I can copy paste and auto connect because the walls and doors should have the same location. And we can then connect it to it. That is what auto connect is used to. Some people, I know some use this a lot. I have as well several customers that are like, no, I don't like this one. I prefer placing it manually because I have more control over it. I know exactly what I'm placing. It's just, this is more of a, imagine for this, if I run the entire view, there's so many things it's going to connect to. And yeah, hopefully it's connected to the correct one. We don't know. We looks what's underneath and connects, but you still need to do some compliance checks as well, or checks that we actually connected to the correct thing. Make sense? Any questions about how we connect or why we're connecting things here to objects, underlying objects? Everyone understand why we connect it?
I reserved some questions, but let the others speak first this time. I mean, I guess I understood the procedure. I'm just wondering what's the practical use of this exercise.
So basically, when we're creating these kind of drawings, we're going to sit here and create all these openings and all these kind of requirements and place them. So I was thinking we're going to leave level 3 for a moment in a second and jump up to level 4 and kind of redo the entire floor plan, I'm thinking. All the different and placing all the requirements. And we will make that floor plan kind of complete. But before that, Janosch, as you asked, we're going to take a look how we can change the look and feel. Janosch, because you asked, what kind of wall requirement would you like to have?
For example, we use different colors for fire section and boundaries. So another text in the wall and another color would be great.
A text, you mean you want a text in the wall? Or do you mean in 3D?
In model view, there's a text we can see now first.
Yeah. I will show you. Not you, Janosch, but go here. I'll actually hide this one and pull it down a little. Go like that and grab it and pull it down a little bit. This. And we got it like this. And I'm going to change this to fine so we can see the text. So here we're going to see that it says EI 60 and 30. So this is what you meant, that we want to change this one to something new.
Yes, and the color.
And the color, obviously. Okay. So every object that we have has, every wall requirement that we have has a sub, or it's divided into subcategories. Basically, just exactly for this reason. So if we go to manage, so this is something as well we need to change in the template so that it's a default value. So we go to manage, we go to object styles. So here's where we control how everything should look like in the model. If we go down to F, fire protection, you can see here, if I expand this one, here we got all the different requirements for walls. Which color should be on 60 and 30? Those were the ones that I were using.
Pardon?
Which color should be like on EI 60 if you have that, or REI 60?
We usually use brown or dark red.
Brown, dark red color-ish. So here we can change the color of the line in floor plan. I'm gonna go kind of that one, perhaps.
It's okay.
That's okay. It's more of a exercise. Change that one. Do you use the line style, the line pattern? What kind of line pattern do you usually have?
We usually use the ray. RA.
RA. RA. I think if I have it, I think I have like this one.
Yes.
Yeah. Even though we have one down here. Okay, I can change this. That's fine. And the last one would be material. This one is a little bit more quote unquote tricky. So we need to change the material. This is for 3D. You can go here. Either I have a material that fits your needs or not. In this case, we can right click and we can duplicate material and assets. So it's two parts in the materials. Now we are in the deep end of Revit. To be honest, this is something you rarely jump into unless you kind of prepare your own template or create your own families. It's gonna prompt us of a name, and what I usually do is I use a naming convention of the color in the RGB, because the symbol we are using are not real symbols. Oh, sorry, they're not real objects, but just a symbolic. So we can't really write like a wooden handle, something like that. It's more of, okay, it's this color 6464. I can change the graphics to this one, the brown one. And appearance, I need to fix that one as well. And then okay. And then okay. And you will see in the background, it's going to load and change everything to that new one. The text that we see here, it comes from the description here. It's hard coded, so we need to go in to change the formula for that one. But we can change that later on to fit your needs with all the things that you need. But we have the REI, for instance, we have it here if you would like, even though it's red, but we have all those requirements already prepared. But this is something we want to change to fit your template, so you kind of have everything with right colors, right values, and so on. Okay, what I want us to do is I want us to jump to level 4. And I'm going to close everything inactive. And I want us to do a few things. And I'm gonna let everyone do it in their own speed. I want us to kind of repeat what we did this morning. I want to add tags on all the rooms. I want to add spaces in the corridors. I want to have a value on them saying something. You can obviously write in Hungarian, meant something like evacuation corridors, something like that. I want to place a space symbolizing for each staircase, evacuation exit staircase. I want you to guys go around and place a wall requirement around the hotel walls in between each one of these. Any kind of requirement, whether it's 15, REI 60, mix as much as possible. And I want you guys to place door requirement on each and single one of these doors, and obviously those sections. And we're going to do that for 20 minutes. And we're just going to go around just getting a feel of placing these compartmentations and door requirements and space requirements. And just start by doing that. Sounds like a plan? Even I'm going to do it. Kind of reproduce the DWGs or the PDFs that we're used to producing, but just go around placing everything the best as you can. Do your own time. See how it feels with trimming, extending, all those kind of Revit features. Yeah. So holla if you need anything. You will see I will do everything as well. You can just do as me or play around, make your own thing. Yeah.
Srácok, ezt nektek mondom, hogy ha valamit lehelyezéskor forgatni kell, akkor a space-t nyomkodva tudjátok irányítani a komponenst, illetve hogyha érzéket, hogy valaminek a közelében nyomjátok a space-t, akkor annak a vonalaira próbálja majd igazítani.
Köszi.
Niklas, so what I was just explaining to the others was that as you're placing certain components on the floor plan,
Rotation.
yeah,
Yeah. Rotation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understood that.
Oh, really? How come?
Yeah.
What must be your Finnish background or your Finnish
Yeah.
proximity, right?
I would guess so. Often it's more often the case of even I would explain that. It makes sense. Of the space bar is very simple to get through it. Yeah.
Yeah, space and component.
Yeah.
Probably it's okay.
And if you heard that too, it's like, I know what you're talking about.
Cool.
Yeah. That was the only window that definitely are shorter than 2 meters between each other. Yeah. Diagonal. It's the same in Hungary. Like in Sweden, if you have like a corner like this, if there are 2 meters, one of those need to be fire rated.
I mean, yeah.
Something similar. It's
Yeah.
a bit complicated.
Yeah. But simplifying, it's very like, okay, 2 meters, and that was the only one. I would assume 2 meters. You should measure it, but I'm lazy. This looks way further.
So it depends on the angle and if it's openable and things like that.
Yeah, I think we have a bit more simple because we have diagonal 2 meters, and depending on the wall, obviously, and we have 1.2 meters in height. So in Z, if it's closer, there's a risk of external fire spread. I gotta be honest. I just played around very much like plaything, figuring things out, or it's more of trying to create something that looks as we expect. The last 2 minutes, hopefully you have created something on your floor plan. It's not necessary to be perfect. Once again, if you've done just a part of it, it's fine. As long as you use anything up here, it's going to be okay. The last thing I'm just going to show here, like we can also place symbols such as that we don't really connect to something, but we need to symbolize that you need to do something. So for instance, the family safe refuge of one-way and two-way communication, we can place those. This is kind of what the architects need to do. Find these places where wheelchair accessible places where they can go and have communication with fire brigade. So when they come to their hotel, they can go there, they're safe, they can communicate one way or two way. And this is something then the architect will place everything, and obviously electrician will pull the electrician, but we can place these kind of symbols. I think that was the only one that I would assume was a safe refuge. Or if you go for elevator, search for elevator, you see that we have both the rescue and evacuation elevators. So rescue obviously would probably be up here for the fire brigade. Like if you come, this elevator is extra protected. As the fire brigade, you can go here, and obviously evacuation elevator, evacuation. You can place those symbols as well. That this is a specific one. Probably shouldn't be up here, should be closer, probably this one, but they know where to put what because these are extra things that you can place as well. And these are symbols. They are 3D symbols, but they don't connect literally to anything because this is something they just need to see. Okay, this elevator needs to be placed. You kind of more referring to them that, okay, need to do something special here, that not everything needs to be connected. With that said, 10 minutes break. And we will start poking around. We're going to jump in between. We're going to jump kind of play architect and fire engineer. So what we can do before going, I want you to right click on Revit and open another Revit session. So we have 2 Revit 25 open. And then you take a small break. I'm going to grab a water and see you in 10. So 10 minutes past.
Sounds good. See you in town.
Okay, thank you.
Brilliant. Brilliant. It's 10 past. Are everyone here or still on break?
A few of us still on break.
Yeah, it's no rush. How's it looking now? 3 minutes later.
We can continue.
We can continue. Brilliant. So I was thinking like this. I wasn't planning on doing this order, but it's fine. I think like this. We're gonna try and do our first kind of export to the architect model and kind of see what we've been doing. Seeing like what are we really producing, except obviously a 2D PDF. One very nifty feature that we have in Bimfire, it's going to take a while if we press it, but I think we should do it, is this one, dense compartments. So when we think we're ready, we can run this tool, and that will check basically every wall that we have placed a requirement on, and it's going to check if there's a door or a window that has no requirement. If we have missed, it will actually place a requirement automatically on that door or window. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this one, delete that requirement, and I will run it. I know I have something on the lower level, but it will go through the entire model right now. It's quite a huge model, so it's going to take a few seconds. I think it's going to take like something like, yeah, took like maybe 20 seconds. And he found 17 elements, which I have placed a wall requirement, but there is a door or window where I had. So depending how everyone has been placing, going to have the difference. And it's going to place something saying unconnected. In our model, if I go down to schedules in project browser, once it's run, we can go to schedules. and we can check what's called dense compartments for doors and one for windows. I've separated them because basically making it easier for people to check it. But here we can see which levels has been affected and how many, so to speak. So I can select this one and go back to this level. It's 6 that's connected to this level placed around. So I missed these, for instance. You can kind of see where it pops. There's a door here between these 2 rooms. Maybe this shouldn't be one. Got one here, and we can kind of go and fix these. So it's 6 on this one. I will isolate those. So I got one here as well. But we can kind of go fixing them like, you should actually be not unconnected. You should be 60C. That's fine. I'm going to remove the material requirement again because it's in the way. And I can kind of check them so I don't miss anything. So before we're handing these over to the other stakeholders, we can fix it. Everyone got something, or at least 1 or 2 of those unconnected. Just use the schedule. We can use the schedule to go back and forth. We can leave those as unconnected, but tomorrow we will go through and fix those. We can press Control S to save. So we save our model. So the idea behind Bimfire, as you know, hopefully, is that we want to communicate this information to the architect in a better way. Because right now, what we would do is would deliver this model or PDF to the architect. They will take a look at these and manually redraw these lines in their model as detail lines. They would enter this data onto into their model manually as well. They would select all the doors and enter what they would see on the PDF. What we're going to do here with Bimfire is we're going to push this data into their model. So I'm going to right-click first and foremost here in Product Browser and say collapse all. I like it more collapsed. So I'm going to just collapse it. So you can right-click and just pull it down together. It's just nicer. I'm a bit anal that way. I like it neat. I'm going to open schedules again. And there's a schedule in the first one in the very top right now. That's called 00 requirement parameters. You can double click on this one. Here, I've listed all the parameters that are available in this template. I just kind of defaulted, mashed everything here. A bunch of different parameters that never going to use. We probably not going to use in this one. So we're going to adjust this schedule before. And we can do it's very simple. We can go to the to the parameter field and edit that one. And have it in here. You can edit it. How it works is on the left-hand side, we have a bunch of parameters that are not included in the schedule. On the right-hand side are the ones that are included in the schedule. So we can select the first one and the last one using Shift to get all of those and use the red arrows to remove. And we kind of start from the beginning. What I want to do is this. I want to send the parameter FireRec fire rating wall. That is something I want to send to the architect. FireRec fire rating wall. FireRec fire rating doors. FireRec fire rating windows. I want to go and deliver min clear width. And I want to add FireRec fire exit. And last but not least, FireRec accommodation function. So how I chose these parameters will always be in conversation with the architect. So we ask the architect, you usually have fire rating requirements. Are there other parameters you want us to send? And here, sky's the limit. So all these are just, let's put it as an examples that we have taken from the Swedish, from Norwegian, some British, kind of meshed everything like, okay, these are kind of data that you can send. And this could be basically anything. Naming convention, we just have a prefix of FireRec. This could be anything. You could start with mumbo jumbo. It doesn't really matter. It's just parameters. And this is a discussion always with an architect saying, okay, we want to send, you can suggest, we can send these. But we can start with this. Everyone found the schedules and the parameters? Laura, Mercedes, Norbert. Brilliant, brilliant. Laura, you're the last one. Brilliant. All we need to do right now, after we talk to the architect, we made this schedule, we will press OK. We will right-click on the 00 requirements. And fourth from the bottom, save to new file. We will save it. Desktop is good enough. I'm going to place it in the desktop course folder and press save. And that's save. This is something we can do after the first meeting with the architect, and we agreed upon, like, okay, we can send these parameters and we can send it because we need to have the same parameters in both models. Okay, so we agreed upon these data points, but as fire engineers, we are early in stage 3, or like in the middle of the project. Still early. We don't know everything. We don't know, maybe we don't know min-clear width. We don't know fire exit. So in the first delivery, what we're going to tell with the architect is going to be, okay, we will start easy. We want to send wall requirements and door requirements in our first delivery. Later, when we know more, we're going to send the rest of the data points. But right now, we will start with wall requirements and door requirements. Door resistance, sorry. So we need to prepare our model, Revit model, and we will click on what's called import mapping. That will open this dialog box. 99% of our parameters that we're going to use are within fire protection, fire alarm device, and security devices. But every resistance, door, window, wall, columns, you name it, is going to be under fire protection. And why it's there is because we need to have, we're placing our symbols in different categories or classes. And this one is sounded the best. It's that easy. It's not a really good one. Target parameters are all the instant parameter that are placed in the model. So if I select, for instance, audiovisual device is empty because we don't have an audiovisual device in the model. But fire protection, we have a few. And here we can find all the parameters that are placed, and we can select fire rating door, add, fire rating wall, add. And that will be our first delivery. So fire rec, fire rating wall, not reaction. It's easy to, a lot of people do these, do mistake of reaction to, that's the material. Fire rec, fire rating wall, fire rec, fire rating door, and then add. It will appear here in the table. Everyone added a parameter, don't have to be all. Then we just press, once you're done that, press save, close, and save the file again. So it's like our file is saved. Brilliant. I'm going to jump into the new Revit session that I told everyone to open before the break, empty one. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend we're the architect right now. So we have saved our Revit file, the fire safety model. We deliver it to the project, wherever that is, any kind of portal. Now we remove fire safety data. I'm emphasizing this. Remove that. How will it look for them? The architect would go to Open Model, and they would go to Education FSZ. They would press the Detach from Central. And they would go Open. Next dialog box, detach and preserve worksets. And we're going to leave it like that. And we're going to open it. This is going to take a minute or two. So everyone else found their architect model and are on the way opening. Open it, I'll say it again, open it in a new Revit, not the one that we're doing the Revit fire safety. It's going to complain saying it's already open because we have a link in it. And otherwise, if you haven't opened the new Revit, right-click on Revit, Revit 2025, and it will open a new Revit session. And we will just chill. Even my computer is working. Oh. Growing.
Are you working on a tower or are you using a laptop?
Laptop.
Okay, yeah, same here.
Yeah. The HP, not Dell Precision, what's it called? Studio, HP Studio Gen 5? I think. PC, yeah, ZBook Studio G8 mobile workstation. Me personally like the Dell Precision 5570 or something like that. It's basically, I don't know, it's just good looking. I don't know if you've seen it. 55, something like this.
Yeah, that's a decent one.
Yeah, it's really expensive.
Is it?
Oh yeah, 4,000 euros.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
But it is a good-looking computer with like no borders, super
Right.
thin. Yeah, super
Hopefully
thin.
powerful as well.
Yeah, and powerful, and like got everything you need. But I know some customers, it's very expensive, but when I see it, like, ooh, I want you, but it's too expensive.
Sure. I managed to open the architectural model, by the way.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Ahead of me. Remove constraints, apparently. Then I will ignore this one. How is everyone else doing?
I got it.
You got it. Laura, Mercedes, Norbert.
These guys are spoiled. They have really good machines, as I've heard.
Okay. They're faster than mine. If you jump into just a floor plan, you should have the 100 general arrangement floor plan where we can see everything. If you just zoom in, I'm going to zoom in here and grab one door and just tab and select one door. So if you grab this, you're going to notice it's a group. But if you use tab, you can kind of highlight and select the door, and we can see all the parameters that are attached to that door. And these are actually the architect that they are using. And I just want to say, as you can see here, the gray ones are called groupings, where it says other visibility I've seen. Yeah, as you can see here, that none of the gray says fire protection. Just keep in mind. So step one, what the architect will do is, after the first meeting, we're saying, okay, in this project, we're going to deliver these parameters. We send them that schedule. It's an email. It's 400 kilobytes large always. What they will do is they will go to the tab Insert, Insert from File, Insert Views from File, and then go to where you save the schedule. So Insert, in my case, Desktop, Course, 00 requirement parameters. Open. Okay. Okay, it's saying yes, we have a bunch of things that's already there. Now, if I select the door, you can see down here, we have now a new grouping called fire protection. And all those parameters that were connected to doors are now here, but they're empty, but they are in the model. And you can see how easy it is to load all those parameters, whether it's, we have like 6, 7 now, would be 100, the same procedure. You can send tons and tons of parameters. All of them are so-called share parameters, so they can use them in schedule, tags, you name it. I'm selecting the door because it's more fun to look at than one parameter on wall. But okay, now they have the parameters. Took them 2 seconds. Great. The next thing that they're going to do is they're going to go to Insert, Link Revit, and find the fire protection, fire safety model that we sent them to the project. And they would link it the same way as it would be any other model. And I'm brilliant who opened level 6 and not level 4. I will jump to level 4 because we did everything in level 4. It says that all the links in the fire model will not appear. That's fine. We'll go to level 4 and open it like this. And everything you can see that we designs are here, at least visually. Everyone else got the same? Brilliant. Okay, visually, they will see exactly everything we want to see, even the text, because there are actually 3D text. Even the text here, they will see it. Once again, this is still what I consider nice to have. It's visually, it's good for them when they're designing. But what they will do is they will download as well a free plugin. It's free of charge for them. It will appear here under add-ins and import from link. You don't have it under here under add-ins because you haven't installed it. It's fine. In Bimfire, under import mappings, you have this exact same button. So we just broken out that button into a singular free installer. So they would go into this one, everyone can do here. They will see exactly the same. It looks exactly the same. Select the fire safety model, and then import. This will take a look at our model and see everything that we have connected to their components, and we will load it and populate those parameters that we said. This is quite a huge project. It goes through the entire thing, and we got a warning, wall is slightly off axis, and that is just a Revit warning. Ignore it, it's their problem that they are not, and we're done. If I now select this door, So everything we were doing with Bimfire, as Olivier that asked, when we're placing, creating these kind of drawings, we're pushing the information. we have now
awesome,
done, we have done their jobs. We did one floor, would work the same. If we go to another floor, we actually populated the entire model, even though here it's a dash. So the time you saw was the same in every door, whether we've done every component had a requirement, would take the same. Took so short time. Yes, Janos.
In the case of the doors, so when you put down the evacuation route emblem, doesn't it set the minimum clear width of the drawer? Because I didn't see the parameter filled out.
Yes, yeah, we did, but because in the import mapping, I said we only want to send 2 parameters this time. Tomorrow, we're going to add the min clear width. So even though we have added the parameters and connected to the door, it could be like, okay, we're not ready. So we could just say 0 on those. We know later on we will know them and fix them and send it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that is why I kind of wanted, I usually do this in the end, but now I just showcase of why are we doing everything. So we can populate our model, making it look as we want, as long as we're using Bimfire and placing, and that's why we're kind of setting up the ribbon so we know what we are placing. And are we using those to send or connect? Everything can be sendable. That is kind of the, once again, the idea behind the tools, that we just place it and connect it. We can close the architect model and we don't have to save it. Just close it and we will redo this tomorrow again with more parameters. But everyone saw, hopefully, in their architect model that you open, that the data that you've used Bimfire and place the requirements now is pushed. And good thing is that it doesn't only, like for what we're doing right now in Sweden, it works the same with acoustics, safety, any information you want to send from A to B. And we call them FireRec. It could be, I think they have TS for everything. Like we can use these parameters as well. So we can populate these parameters, this one, for instance. They can just send their share parameters. We add it in our model, and we can start populating these parameters if they want to use their own. But we have just FireRec because they have something. And we, as you saw, so many different. So just give you guys ideas of, we tried to put in as many parameters as well to give you guys idea of, we could maybe want to send this as well. We might want to send something else. One thing that I want to show, the last one I almost forgot. The room requirement, where I wrote kind of exit staircase, fire lobby, escape corridors, etc. We didn't send that information to the architect model because we only sent 2 parameters, doors and walls. But the good things about spaces and rooms are that they have here a color scheme called department. They're looking at rooms and applying a coloring on departments. If I go down here to view templates, their view templates, which is called TS VT 100 to floor plans, something, we can open their view templates, still pretending to be architects. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to go here into VG override model. As an architect still, I'm going to go down to S for spaces. It's on. Great. Because we're using spaces. So we see spaces and press cancel. I'm going to go to this color scheme. I'm going to change from rooms to spaces. Select the scheme, schema 1, and select the FireRec accommodation function. Colors will not preserve. It's going to generate new colors. It's fine. Include elements from link. here are all my values that I entered on my spaces. It's going to generate random colors for them as well. I'm going to go a bit more crazy of just adding or popping so we can see what things are. Maybe you sound like this. Go OK, go OK. And this is something the architect knows what they can work with. It's going to go through the entire model and apparently not show. Is it that I think this, no, it should be, I'm on level 6, my bad. I'm on level 6. I'll go back to level 4 where I actually drew things. Here we are. They can still read my information from my spaces. So the spaces I recommend don't connect and keep on checking that they are connected because they can read it like without having the information on their rooms. Save room information to the very last to deliver that because they can still use these in their drawings and everything like that. And if we set up colors, they can steal our color scheme and have the exact colors that we have defined, and they can kind of color this as they want. But yeah, so not everything needs to be connected and sent. So spaces, it's fine to keep it in your own model as long as possible. And yeah, they can kind of use our model in a different way. Okay, that was the last thing I wanted to show as an architect. Let's go back. We can close this one, and we don't have to save the detached. I was thinking, okay, we want to place this on drawings. We can kind of I was very quick in the architect model to kind of change the colors of the room values. We can quickly do this here as well. For the spaces or rooms, we can go to Analyze, and we got something here called Color Fill. You can find this as well under Annotate, Color Fill, but either way. Color Fill Legend. What this is something we can place anywhere in our model, and that will read the colors that are defined in that specific view. And it looks like this. This one, if we select this one and want to go up here and edit the scheme, we can change the colors of the different values that we have assigned. So edit scheme. Here you got all the different Swedish mumbo jumbo, but you have as well the escape, exit here. And you can just assign, so exit stairs, I'm going to use the same that we do in Sweden. It's going to be 0, 136, 84, a bit dark green. Escape corridors is going to be this one, 174, 225, 130. I'm going to do the same on escape. Which one? Brilliant. So once we're here, we can then change the colors to whatever we want. Okay. It's kind of calculating. We can change to whatever color we want to assign it. And what we've done is kind of just in the preset in the template. These are the values we want. These are the colors, so we know they are exactly the same in every project that we're using. It's going to be identical. I'm going to minimize the schedules in Project Browser. Below this, we have something called Sheets. And we're going to go to the one that's called 02 Sketches. I'm going to expand that one. And we got 03 unnamed. Double click. And here it is. Very beautiful. Here, can we drag and drop level 4 from views? And drag and drop this one into the sheet. And you kind of can see something happen here already. Drag and drop and place it somewhere. Mine were a little bit off. I would kind of move it around here, perhaps. Maybe even it might be that we need to change scale to maybe 1 to 200 to make it fit even better. So we can select the view even here in the sheet. We can select it and then go to the view template because we're selecting the view and all the information. So this barely fits. Maybe you should go to 1 to 200 in the sheets. So once you drag and drop, it's here. We go to the view, the views for sheet view template. We can change the scale on every one of these to say 1 to 200. If it's smaller, now it's better. We can kind of make it fit, or 1 to 150 or something like that. I'm gonna leave it in 1 to 200. It's I would like to have it like 1 to 150 to make it a bit better. But what you can see here is they're actually here will read automatically whatever we have put it down here. The only thing we need to do is go here and resize rows. I saw that I haven't done it, and say this should be a row height of image rows 15. We get it to be kind of good. Everything in Swedish, so it means mumbo jumbo for you guys. Once again, we need to populate this with Hungarian, so it will be the language will be correct, and we can kind of have it like this. We'll read automatically. I usually sometimes use these, but sadly these need to be in the views. I kind of need to move it somewhere, maybe place them here somewhere on the side, or it's possible to kind of do it manually. What I've done here, just hatches, and these are going to look better if you kind of use the legend features. Once again, it's just pure text. This can be anything. While these are smart, these are quote unquote dumb. Static, dynamic. Same here. This is dynamic. It looks awful. It looks better to create kind of a static legend view or dynamic. But that's up to you how you want it. What else? What else did I want to show? Tomorrow we're going to create more sheets. We're going to check what's updated. When we update, we're going to create 3D details, horizontal compartmentation. Are there anything else that you like me to show?
Don't think so.
Horizontal IFC exports. If you want to see how that looks like.
So what's the reason for the IFC export? Is it for archival purposes or for BIM purposes?
It's, to be honest, it's mostly for BIM coordination and clash detection with mechanical engineers. Otherwise, it's just if the structural linears are in Tekla.
Sure, sure. I think an IFC export would be interesting or good to know as well.
Yeah, so we can go through that. Obviously, PDF. That's going to take 2 seconds to showcase that. Once we're going to fix that, we're going to create. We are going to show you how from this how we create one sheet for every one of these. How we're gonna play around. We're gonna copy paste. So we have a few more, 1, 2 more levels. Then it's basically what you've done with what we did during the 20 minutes. You keep on doing it, like level by level, go through, place whatever information you want, connect it, make it look good. And there's nothing really here. That's a good thing, is you kind of have done most of these things that you need. And otherwise, there are features like this one down here. You're going to use it not that often.
But is it something that we're going to talk about tomorrow?
We can go through. We have 10 minutes now, so we can go through it. I jump into a view. So, okay. We go like this. This one's going to be deleted, so ignore this one. You can ignore this one. This is going to be updated, so we can ignore that one as well, because it's going to be totally redone. What it's going to do is you're going to be able to select a space, run the tool, and you're going to click somewhere, and it's going to calculate the furthest distance between those two. So what we're doing, we are using this one, path of travel. So, and that works like this. In this one, you click 2 points from here to here. And it's going to calculate the fastest distance if something weren't in the way. Something is apparently in the way. What is in the way? You should be able to go through doors, spaces. Okay, I'm gonna double check a thing. Is it generic models? Could be that there is a generic model. That's fine. You're fine. Okay, there's something here in the way. So I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna sheet. But how it works is basically from here to here, and it's just figure out the fastest distance. So what we're doing is we're going to select the space, and we're going to find which point in this room will be the furthest distance. So you can see how long it is to each one of these. But it's not going to work like with the dead-end corridors. If you have multiple exits where we need to multiply, depending on accommodation group. I'm assuming it's the same in Hungary as well, depending on accommodation group. If you have 2 exits, you need to double the length at that part. Or not. When you calculate the travel distance.
Sorry, maybe I missed. Were you raising a question?
Yeah.
Sorry,
like
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, so it's a whole different story if there are 2 directions.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just a multiplier, it's another calculation.
Okay. But yeah, they're different ways. So you're not going to do that, but we're going to figure out at least the furthest distance, the furthest point to find that. And this one is for creating evacuation plans. So the symbols that you're going to put in hotel rooms and all these doors, how we can create those drawings. And they're kind of specific because they need to rotate basically 90 degrees. And because you're going to have to rotate the plan depending where you are. And the symbol should always be readable. So that's kind of what this does. Search connected is basically like this. Search connected, you select an object, an architect object or linked object, and that's going to select everything that's connected to that one. So it's more of what have I connected to this store. And clash detection is something as well we're going to update. But it works. It works right now. We're going to update it just to be a little bit better. It's going to find all Revit-based ducts, pipes, and cable trays, and it will add a family connected to that cable tray, duct, and pipe, and grab the value from the compartment it actually goes through. So it's going to populate that value, and so you have going to have symbols for penetrations, and here's the value of that duct. So mechanical engineers can read that from their duct system and see these are the penetration, these are actually the damage it's done, or this is actually the resistance that we go through. Yeah, so those are the kind of those things. You don't use it. These are often the one-off. The dense compartment is the only one that kind of, you can use it. We're going to use it as well when I play around with the architect model tomorrow. We're going to use it as well so you can see new things. But these ones are literally ones off. So because we have click counters on everything, not a lot of clicks on these, to be honest. But they're not meant. There's often like one-offs. Like, okay, we want to see one thing, you do it once. You're not going to do it again in the project. And you're like, oh, it's fine, but it's not great things. It's more of filling up. Yeah, I think that was it.
For today.
Once again, yeah, good job for today. 4 hours of pushing information. Hope you're not have a headache and remember some of it.
I have a technical question. So when we placed the drawing on a sheet, how did it populate the schedule?
Yeah, so schedules so it's two parts. One part is that I have done the extremely boring thing of screenshotting everything. And every object has an image connected to it. This is actually a schedule. So this is, if I go here, it's called symbol legend per sheet. And since 2022, I think, under filter, it has here, filter by sheet. So once it's placed on a sheet, it will check every component, obviously, that are placed. And and then I don't show floors because I don't want to see floors, and they got to have a description. Otherwise, I don't care about it.
And how does it create the icons, the legend symbol itself?
Yeah. So that is basically me who done the screenshot of every symbol. Okay. Every symbol I created, I've literally done screenshots. It's a massive for every country.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, this takes a while.
Good job. Nice work.
It's not fun.
And so how is it pulling it into Revit?
So basically, if you open here, what we need to do is go in here, open this one, edit family.
Oh, okay. And
edit type. Yeah, edit type. And here you go. And then
type image.
Load it. Yeah, and limit it. Load.
Okay.
Yeah, and then go back in. And
oh, cool.
It's static, so that's why kind of when we change the material for the walls, we need to update the thumbnail. But these symbols are static, so they're fine.
Cool.
But it's a lot of screenshotting, a lot of loading. But once you've done it, it's there. It's so easy. Yeah, Janos, sorry.
I've seen in one of your, I guess, older videos that you got fire protection against fire spread on FSZ. But I couldn't see it in a template. Is it gone forever or will it come back?
I can show you. We have it in the UK templates for external fire spread. So I can show you. Okay, I can load it. I will upload everything. You have already with the Bimfire here a new project and cloud. You have access actually to every region. So like once you buy Bimfire, you have every region that we upload. You have here, and now you can access. You can steal. But obviously, if you go into Finnish, it's going to be in Finnish. Hungarian, which you will help me with. I'm going to translate everything to Hungarian with your help. Dutch, German. But you can jump in if you know there's like a German symbol that you like. You can always go into that template, grab whatever you need, and cross match, and just rename everything is just descriptions basically. So just change the description, and then up and run.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Brilliant. And it's 3 o'clock, like clockwork. Perfect.
Like clockwork.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for having the patience with me today. And I will update the architect. I'm going to give you tomorrow a new, same way, like you can download it. I will upload the external file spread. I can upload some more things if you want. And we'll see what will happen when the architect change things, because that will happen. That will literally happen a lot.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Have a good-
presentation.
Thank
See you
you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you
you.
Thank
tomorrow.
you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.